Hello friends, welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm Kerry Wood, pastor of the Goldston Methodist Church in Goldston, North Carolina. And as we wind up this week of the domino effect, we are looking at Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 through 14. Hear now these words. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. So all this week we have been talking about the difference between the old false earthly and the new heavenly truthfully. And then we get to this passage, and there is this wonderful word that expresses Paul's thought and its conclusion. Did you catch what that word was? Therefore. Anytime we see a therefore in Paul's letters, that becomes the hinge point. That becomes the place which connects what was previous to what is next. And so we need to really focus in on what Paul's therefore is. He says we are God's chosen people. When we are our true selves, when we have put into Jesus our very trust, dying to everything else that gets in the way, we are His holy, dearly beloved, chosen people, aka the church. Now, the Greek word for church is ekklesia, which is a Greek word that means the gathered. So we are gathered, collected, put together. This is not an individual thing that Paul is talking about. This is a communal thing that Paul is talking about. And he's giving us our team attire. You know, when everybody goes to a college football game, they always put on the gear that reflects their team. So no matter who you're rooting for, your shirt, your hat, your number one finger, all of those things, whatever you have, it all reflects the team you're rooting for. Well, Paul's giving us our uniform. This is what we're supposed to wear as the church. Compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. We don't think of these as clothes. We think of these as aspirational expressions, don't we? We think of them as behaviors. But they're more than just behaviors. They're not something that we aspire to. These are the means by which we become, not just in the stands, but on the field as part of God's team to win the game called life. J.D. Walt talks about these as being in a football metaphor. These are our pads that we wear that protect us as we play the game. And I think he's onto something, because he says, Paul says that's the he I'm referring to, bear with each other and forgive one another. Yeah, that sounds like we need something to protect us from our very own sense of, oh, you've hurt me, you've injured me. Well, how do I protect? Through compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. These are the things that help us as we deal with the inevitable collisions that happen in our lives. It's especially true in the church. And if we can do this in the church, that makes us more likely to be able to do it out of the church, welcoming the outsiders to become insiders. I think one of the saddest reflections on our modern times here in the United States and the rest of the Western world, the first world, the materialistic world, is that those who are not Christians look at people who claim to be Christians and they say those people are mean, arrogant, exclusionary. It sounds like Christians have put on the wrong uniform. So I'm encouraging you today to listen to Paul and put on the right uniform, the best uniform, the true uniform. Love binds them all together in perfect unity. That's real teamwork. How are you part of God's team today? Share in the comments. Encourage each other. Share this Devo to make sure we're all players on the same team, the Lord's team. And I'll see you on Monday for another daily devotional.